Welcome back, Adam here from Go Simple Tax. Today I'm going to be explaining what a UTR number is, why you might need one, and how to get one if you do. I'll also explain why UTRs are important for anyone working under the construction industry scheme. So let's begin with what a UTR number actually is. A UTR, or Unique Taxpayer Reference, is a 10-digit number that is unique to each UK taxpayer, which can be issued to both individuals and to companies, and will look something like this. A UTR is required to communicate with and submit information to HMRC. The most common example of this is the self-assessment tax return. There are many reasons why an individual might need to complete a self-assessment tax return, including those working under CIS, individuals with self-employment, and those with rental income. But whatever the reason, it won't actually be possible to submit a tax return until you've obtained a unique taxpayer reference. So, how do you actually get a UTR number in the first place? The good news is your UTR is usually issued automatically, either when you form your limited company, which is normally done via a company formation agent. In this case, HMRC are informed as part of the registration process and will issue the UTR number for the limited company via post. Typically, the UTR arrives within a couple of weeks, but they do suggest to contact them via phone if it's been more than 3 weeks since registration and your company UTR number still hasn't arrived. Once issued, a company's UTR number will remain the same as long as that company exists, and it will be needed to submit corporation tax returns to HMRC. If you're registering for self-assessment because you need to report income to HMRC, then again, by registering with HMRC, a UTR number will be issued as part of the process and should arrive in the post shortly after registration. Registering for self-assessment can be done online via the HMRC website. There is one registration process for those who are registering as self-employment, and a slightly different process for those registering for another reason, such as rental income or capital gains, which involves completing a digital version of Form SA1, which can also be found on the HMRC website, printed, completed, and posted back to HMRC. And that brings us on to the information that's required to obtain a UTR for self-assessment. Whatever your reason for registering for self-assessment, the majority of the details required will be basic personal information, such as your name, your date of birth, and your home address. You'll also need your national insurance number, a contact telephone number, and an email address. And where appropriate, you'll need the date you started your self-employment, a business address, a phone number, and business type. Now, if you can't find your UTR number, you may be wondering if HMRC can simply generate a new 10-digit number for you. Unfortunately, this isn't possible, as once a UTR is issued, it stays with the taxpayer for life, which means you'll need to recover the original number. For anyone who has previously been issued a UTR number, you can find this detailed on any relevant correspondence issued by HMRC. This might include your Welcome to Self-Assessment letter, which is officially known as an SA250. This is the first piece of correspondence that HMRC would have issued detailing your UTR, and again, it would have arrived no more than a few weeks after registration. You'll also find it on your notice to file a tax return. This letter is sent out once a year after the end of the tax year, instructing the taxpayer that HMRC are expecting them to file a return and by when. You've also got payment reminders. These are issued once a return has been submitted and the tax liability calculated, and potentially in cases where you've agreed a payment plan with HMRC to clear any outstanding liabilities. Again, this document would contain your UTR number. Previous tax returns are also a great place to find a copy of the reference number, as is logging into your personal tax account by using your government gateway ID or the app. If you don't have access to any of these documents or your personal tax account, then there are a couple of fail-safe options to retrieve your UTR. The first is to contact HMRC via phone. When contacting by phone, an agent will confirm your identity by asking you to confirm a number of personal details, including your national insurance number. The second option is to contact them via post. Again, you'll need to ensure that you provide basic contact information in your letter, including your name and your address, but most importantly, you'll need to reference that national insurance number again. And finally, for anyone working under the construction industry scheme, ideally, you'll want to get your UTR number before starting work for a main contractor. This is because the UTR number is required for workers to sign up to CIS, and when the main contractor calculates how much to pay each of their workers or subcontractors, they're going to withhold 20% tax from those who are registered under CIS, but they'll have to withhold 30% from anyone who isn't. So the consequence of not having a UTR number in this scenario is that you're going to have more tax deducted at source. There you have it. That is everything you need to know about UTR numbers. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.